Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And what do we have going on here today? Obviously, Giannis was asking the right question yesterday about the idea of jolts. Boy, ADP employment is increasing. Yesterday's U.S. drop. Yeah, and Doc must be running. I'm back. Hello. I've been sitting here. I've been just going through things. Sorry about that. I meant to push the button, thinking it was, 8:30. 8:31, and I started looking at something out of nowhere. But in the end result is that jolts, they thought, okay, the economy's lowering. You can see the bonds. The 30-year bond has been very happy. There's the numbers there on ADP, up on J4X. Let's emphasize that, like right there. And they were expecting 2.4, and ADP says 2.1, and the annual rate was supposed to be 2.1 and 2.4. Let's see, GDP also below forecast. Yeah, and I talked about that. Everybody's confused by the Richmond Fed. They were talking 5+% in a GDP, and it's like 5%. I mean, that's what that does is makes me concerned about the inflation. That's exactly what that makes me concerned about, is inflation. And so that is another of the crazies that the numbers. U.S. dollar selling off big time for all this index. Let's see, Giannis says. Robin says, Giannis, can you have the heart removed? Yeah, really. You end up losing the letters there. I don't see it from my end. I spotted the thing only from another account recently. I need to look into what the heart is. Wonder if it's me. Let's see if I can change it to a smile. See what happens if it does that. No, it doesn't do that, does it? So if I go like this, just go like that, it didn't change it to a smile. So that's not me. Maybe how do I turn that sucker off if it's me? Somehow or another, I think it's me. Don't ask me why, but so now I just did a bunch of smiley faces. Let me try it again. No, it's a heart still. Yeah, you're right. It's somebody else. I don't have control over it. That's for sure. So, anyhow, where were we at? Yeah, Giannis was saying GDP. Robin, let's see. Go back up a little bit higher. ADP employment yesterday. GDP also below forecast. Oh, ooh. You're not hearing me? Hey, Robin, what's cooking?
That heart is me, and the three dots for controlling it are underneath it. Hey, Robin, what's cooking?
Okay.
You can't get to them. That's why I asked Giannis if
right.
he could have it removed.
Right, I see what you're saying, yeah. But it's you. Okay.
Yeah, it's me. No, there's three dots under there.
Well, you know what? Close for a second, and then open up again. And no, but then we'll see if the heart disappears. It is you.
I put it up there.
Oh, you did? Okay.
A long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't take it down.
Nice.
Three dots
Okay.
underneath that heart.
Okay, so it is you, Robin. Okay, excellent.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, there's the answer to that heart situation. It is Robin. He's fighting to try to figure out a way to disconnect it. It's a recent addition rolled out to allow viewers to send an instant emoji, oh, good Lord, to something that they like. Live stream, you can send a heart to 100 or whatever. Okay. All right, so let me just go back up and make sure I'm not missing any questions here. ADP is increasing yesterday's. Okay. Let's see. GDP also known forecast exactly. It's the AUD and NZD long trades are continuing today. Let's see what they look like. Let's throw it up on the currency chart. There's the AUD. Oh, I didn't even go into that. Let me log that into it too. We've been yakking about all kinds of things here. Okay. So there's Bitcoin too. Let's just throw that up. That's interesting. And then let's move over to Let's see. Let's go over to, where's that mouse at? Hello, mouse. There it is, right there. All right, so there is AUD, and you can see we went into the buy yesterday at the end of the day, right there. And they had brought it down during the trading day. In the beginning, when we were doing the webinar, we took a look at that yesterday. And then NZD. There's NZD. Same situation. Went into the buy there yesterday. I remember it's on the sheets as a buy too. Right there. Yeah. So it's moving, still moving up, which I guess it's NZD dollar. So that means that the NZD is gaining against the dollar. So, and then let's take a look at the euro. They must. I know they went into a buy yesterday also, and so they're following through. So the markets had that comfortable situation going into the close yesterday, because they're all on the buy on the spreadsheet. Let's see. Yana says U.S. dollar selling off big time. Okay, let's move the data out of the way. Come on, mouse. You can do this. Okay. There. And there. Dollar index. Dismiss. Yeah. That went into a sell yesterday, too, the dollar index. And so that slid into the sell at the end of the day. There's the dollar index on the old Chicago quant. Right there. And that closed into sell yesterday also. After, like, I don't know, 3 full weeks in a buy. But the weekly is still firm. So I'm not the most comfortable, but you never know. A daily can lead to a weekly, that's for sure. And then let's take a look at, that's that right there. And you can see here, let's see where we can find yesterday's. Yesterday's was 70.33, and the fast was 56. Yeah, 56. So 70. Wow, what a big drop that was the last 2 days. Because now we're at 30 and it's at 56. That's 26 points. And red hinky the whole bit, showing the weakness. And let's take a look at the 30-year. Now, your 30-year was not exciting me that much. You know, I want to say, you know, when I saved it this morning and sent it out, I was like thinking to myself, that's not that much, you know, with the currencies moving. So let me just go find that too. And 30-year right there. Wow, the September contract is getting thin in volume. We're going to be switching over soon to the December contract. And so, yeah, the 30, let's see, let me just look at both of them. 30-year, let's see what the December looks like. Because December has 99,000. Oh, you know what? The December contract is now the front month. But it still moved up yesterday. Let's go look at it right there. Yeah, see, it moved up yesterday. But it was interesting. It was a green and a red. I thought to myself, that's cool. And today, look at it. It's barely moving. So to be uber nervous, in other words, you know, to be overly nervous about the interest rate situation is, you know, kind of stuck in the middle there. Look, there's one thing for sure, and that is markets believe we're near the top of the interest rate market. And they know there's only a quarter to a half at most coming from there. Now, the only thing that's going to freak, you know what, traders, the most important thing probably is to watch that inflation number that I keep on saying I think is going to kick up. Because if that thing starts to kick up, then you're going to see the bonds move at lightning speed, and you're going to see the dollar turn around and lift up. And that's why the dollar future at the moment, let's just go back to that dollar future. All right. Dollar future right there, you know, is holding up very well. Now let's put it up on this too at the same time, the DXU. And is that it? No, that's not it. DXU. There it is. And so you can see here, the weekly is holding up relatively firm. The fast and the slow are still above, just like they are on this one. Oh, you can't see that. Let's do that again. Right there. So you can see there, they're still above. There's no problem there. Let's just make that bigger for you to see. You can see they're above, and the zero line is the fast is breaking down, and we're doing the same thing on the other chart here. And then let's go over to the J4X 30-year bond right there. And let's get that weekly up on that. Because I think that's going to be like the thing to key off of. And as you can see here, it's trading at 26 in the fast and trading at 19 on the slow. So it's actually trying to lift up the price of the, let's see. So when the price goes down, interest rates are rising, okay? And when the price goes up, interest rates are dropping, okay? Remember, it's the reverse. So this big long slide showed interest rates increasing. And over here, let's put it up again on here, right there. You can see right there, it's trying to lift up too. The fast is breaking through underneath, just like we're seeing on J4X. And let me see if we can put the 30-year up on our new platform. Where is that at? I think it's that one, BZU. Yeah, that's what it is. And so the weekly, no, that's not it. That's got to be that's got to be Brent. I think that's, yeah. That's what's at 103. Brent's not at 103. Let's see. I will find it in a second here. Let's see. Bond. Maybe that's it. Is that the bond there? That's it right there. Okay, so you can see here the weekly is climbing up also on the bond. And I think we want to watch the inflation numbers and the 30-year bond to give us the direction for the currencies and the dollar index. I think that's really where we need to go. And I really do believe it's going to get a little freaky. It's going to become a bumpy ride, like on the night bus in Harry Potter. It's going to be a bumpy ride. And I think that inflation is going to kick out. Let's see. Quick search. No, it's not me. You can make the heart emoji icon translucent, but not completely gone. Yeah, make it translucent, Robin. See if you can just change the color and all like that. It's in a recent edition rolled out, allow viewers to send. Okay, yeah, we saw that. Mountain says dollar index selling off aggressively due to the double top in the 4-hour yesterday move. Okay, so let's see, which one is that? Oh, the dollar. Yes. Well, we're also in the daily sell too. I mean, we are in the daily sell, so that says it. Let's go over and take a look at that. I like looking at those things. I love intraday looks. There's that NZD we were looking at for you, and you can see that was in a daily buy since here in the 59.60 area. There was that last nice big buy right there in the 59.40ish area, and we had a nice ride out of that, and then it pushed into the sell in here and stayed in the sell all the way to right there, and that was a cute little bump, and then it went into the sell right here, and that was okay, and then we went back into the buy right here in the 59.60 area. So that's that NZD in a, what is that? That's a 30-minute. Okay. So now let's go to dollar index and stick the 4-hour in there. Let's see what that looks like. Right there. Okay, so that's the half-hourly right there. So it goes into the sell here at was that 10:30 yesterday. So that gets into the sell with that nice big slide. Now let's see what the 4-hour looks like. Setting 4-hour. And it went into the sell at noon yesterday. So the half hour led it even better. And I guess this is the double top you're talking about, the on the 25th and on the 29th. Let's go back and get some more history for that. No, not 23. That'll be freaking things out. 12. Now that's interesting. Okay, let's go back a little bit further. I want to see how they treated the that first top. All right, so it's interesting. It made that top and then broke down. Didn't do much. Made that top again. Didn't do much on the breakdown here. Jumped into the buy here for just 1 4-hour period and then found itself right back into the sell again. Is that how you picked it up too, Mountain? Did you have that combination? Let's just go back even further since it updates so well. There we are. Pretty docile, wasn't it? Goes into the buy right here. And it was an okay buy. Shook you up a little bit, but took you all the way from here to there. Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Oh, and thank you for the heart, Mountain. Ah, me so funny. Me so funny. All right. That's my Star Wars voice. Jar Jar Big Doc. It's Jar Jar Doc here. Jar Jar Doc. Oh, Jar Jar Doc. All right. Yes. So me so funny. I guess that's about it. But I think that's I think we have a good clear plan what to watch for. That is, watch that inflation number. Anything. I think the GDP. Probably the reason we're not getting that pounded in the 30-year right now is that the GDP dropped. If any one of those GDPs coming out over the next month or two show a gain, and we see the 30-year start to lose, in other words, the interest rates start to increase, then I think we're seeing the crack, in the market there. Double tops were all 25 and 29. All 25, yeah, 25 right there. And 29, and that's pretty clear there. I like how it got to the top part of the Bollinger Band there, and notice that as it got to the top part of the Bollinger Band, our math on the next one. Let's move that line over, so you see like right there. There's the Bollinger Band, and there's us, and you can see there's breaking down, but it's touching the top, and then the thing runs again through it there. By that point, we are cleanly below the manifold. And then the first cell comes right there. There's the first cell right there. And then it's a nice glide down to here. And then, it doesn't touch the bottom of the Bollinger Band, but our work, it goes minus and goes through our band right there. Let's see if we can widen this a little bit for you. Because we don't usually talk about the time manifolds as much as I should, and how they react. Notice it's reacting, trying to get above, below, then below for 3 days, or 2 days, and it goes above again and below, and then it goes above the manifold again. Not only does it do that, but now the bar, let's widen that out. Then the bar itself, you can see right there, is above the zero line. And so here you have the Bollinger Band just challenging the center line here, and not touching the bottom. And our work is telling you, no, be careful. This thing wants to bust up again and go to the top of the Bollinger Band again. And sure enough, it gets up through ours, and it does. It makes the top. See, it gets through ours right there, and then the next move is a challenge to the Bollinger Band, whereas ours, that challenge fails, and we're already breaking down, and we're into the sell right there. See how? That's why I leave other market technicians' work up on my screen because remember, this is. I noted we've talked about this before, but I started this webinar. I was explaining to somebody yesterday about that. I started this webinar on the idea since we weren't having trading floors anymore. 20 years ago and 15 years ago, I was hungry to find ways to challenge other market technicians, and I said, okay, let's have an algorithm war where I run my algorithm and someone says, hey, I think this algorithm is better. We'll run that with it. And so there's an example of John's work and my work. My time manifold versus John's time. His is a standard deviation. Mine is my formula with a standard deviation. That's what those time manifolds are. And that's why I call them nonlinear, because my formula is nonlinear. And so it's not like an algebraic expression or a linear approximation. My math is doing something totally different than that. And so where this is, basically you're basically out of the can, standard deviation by 1%, 1.5%, that type of thing. And that's what the multiple standard deviation. I guess they even look at like a 2% standard deviation depending on the beta of what they're looking at. And so the Greek letters come into the conversation. And so that's why when someone asks us to challenge it, take a look at it, I leave their work up because then there can be a learning moment like this where we get an opportunity to dissect it. And so this is the John Bollinger Band system of one, the one standard deviation. I think it's one standard deviation. Or is it a two standard deviation? So it must be like a... No, that's not it. There it is. Inputs. I guess it's properties. Style. Scaling. Inputs. It's on the close. Deviations up, two deviations up, 2 deviations down. That's what it is. It's the classic John Bollinger. Okay? So, this way, we are doing it. We're doing algo wars. Even when I don't talk about it to everybody, it's up on the screen in a lot of products. And so, in this case here, here we are looking at it on an intraday basis, and it's giving us even, as I like to say, more proof in the pudding. So, in other words, in our case here, there's the buy right there. It has lifted through the zero line just like ours did on this one right there. But our work has confirmed that's the buy. And we're looking for it to go to the two standard deviation, and it does. And then when it breaks down on our work right here, you can see we're starting to have issues right there. I kind of am repeating myself now, aren't I? But you can see it's still hanging the top line. My work's telling you, run, don't walk, get away from it. Even if you're carrying scissors, run. In other words, it's going to try to break down. And obviously it does. So, how is that? Is that cool? Algo Wars. And that's for you, Mountain. We were able to take apart the 4-hour product for you, looking at through the eyes of my mathematics. All right, where are we now and what do we want to do? Okay, we want to go to, we were looking at dollar index, so I guess what we do now, and then we jumped into the bonds, because we're trying to identify what will be the primer, the key. In math they call it like a primer, a proof. What will be the key to watch, the primer. And in this case here, we know that it's more than likely a combination of the GDP and then the inflation, and then from there look at the bonds. Trust me, they can move at lightning speed too. So in other words, in the morning all of a sudden the inflation number pops out a little bit, and then we see over the next hour you see the dollar index starting to. You more than likely you'll see the bonds move first, and then the dollar index will follow. Whereas right now we're not seeing that. We're seeing the dollar index move, but on a more of a short-term basis. Let's see, Mountain says cable and euro rising aggressively due to the dollar falling. Yeah, Yeah, both are, and they went. They closed in daily buys yesterday. Let's go to them. So that's there. There's the euro. You know, that closed in a daily buy yesterday, and so did the cable. The cable closed in a daily buy yesterday also. There we are. And the weekly is still fighting, you know, and let's go over to, let's do this. Let's go over to the bond and make it the, let's go to the euro first. There's the euro, and that's the weekly. So the slow is at 15 and the fast is at 21, and we just haven't generated the green yet. And same thing going on over here. Same game right there. And the fast is already through the zero line, just like it is over here, because it's beating this one. So that's moved up. That moved up last week, actually. So did last week close it, or is it this week? It's this week. It's this week, not last week. It's this week. So it's been up since what is that? That is yesterday. So it broke through it and broke through the zero line on the 28th. No, that's the 29th. So yesterday it pushed through the zero line, and today it's through the manifold itself. But it's not. No, I'm wrong. The zero line's right here. So let's move the zero line down. So it's done neither. It's done neither. So it's just coming through the manifold again on the upside, and so that's the pressure there. And now it's trying to get through the zero line. And over here, it's doing it. It's already through here and here. We're just waiting for the green to occur right there. And that's will tell us that the pressure. And so both of them are trying to tell us that it's trying to lift there. And then as we go over to, say, the British pound, British pound, where are you? There it is right there. Okay, so there's the British pound. Let's put it up on J4X on the weekly. Doing the same thing. That's at 25.6, and the slow is at 19. Excuse me. And at the same time, the bar needs to turn green. Let me take a sip of water there. And then over here, let's put the cable up like so. You see that same thing. It's trying to lift. They're really heading towards the zero line here even more. You're right. They're coming in even faster and stronger on the cable. The fast is lifting with it, just like it is. Right. Where's Mr. Mouse? Oh yeah, right there. So it's doing that. That makes total sense. It's joining in here, and at the same time, on our new platform, you see the same thing going on. It is flirting with the on the edge. There's the zero line. Let's see if we can make that a little bit bigger. There's the zero line. Matter of fact, we'll go like this. And so it's trying to get up through the manifold and get going. Whereas over on it has. No. You know what's interesting? The slow is getting up faster on this right now. That's interesting. The slow is trying to kick it up even more. So. And for the daily, it did not go into the buy yesterday. Oh, what's up with that? Is that updated? It is updated. Not sure why it didn't go into the buy, but it's lagging a little bit here. That's why we're beta testing this thing, making sure some things, stocks and futures work so much more better than spot. We notice that much. We've watched that occur. All right, so from there we go over to the Swiss franc. Let's see what the Swiss is up to. I saw a really interesting thing about Europe in general on a headline, where which countries were the fastest to send back refugees. It's Sweden now. Let's see. Let's go to the Swiss right there. And there's the weekly. You know, it's still climbing. Trying to roll over a little bit. You can see that's at 78. The slow is at 74. So it's still climbing in there. Let's put that up over here. Right there. And we closed in a daily sell yesterday. It's still weak, and the weekly is still holding up. And same situation as on J4X at this point. And so again, I really, the money managers. Let's put it this way: I've never seen money managers be so bold as they are now. Like I said to you yesterday, in the last week and a half, I've been saying over and over, I'm hearing that money managers are saying it's time to put on risk. And sure enough, the markets have moved up with it. Boy, think about the Bitcoin. Bitcoin moved up almost $2,000 yesterday. Talk about risk. They reached for it. Some court came in and decided in favor of Bitcoin. So, cryptos in general, I think it was. What else can we say about any of that? I guess that's pretty much the last of the recipe of it all. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a bumpy ride. We have money managers with enormous amounts of equity that needs to be invested. Under $2 trillion now, but it's a lot of money with a total of $5 trillion on the sidelines. So they're underinvested by a little less than $2 trillion. They've got to come in. They're paid to invest. And when I say they have to be invested, it means that their manifesto says that if they don't use some of that $2 trillion by the end of the year, they get in trouble. Doesn't matter if they made money or not. They can get sued. Matter of fact, my son was saying to me that now he's actually head of a portfolio team for a class action lawsuit law firm. And he was saying to me, they don't have anything on the docket at the moment. And he's the new senior of it all. And he told me yesterday, or 2 days ago, I guess he told me Sunday, told me that they don't have anything right now. I said, you don't have any class action suits going at the moment? He said, no. So, I can tell you last year and the year before, they had class action suits going all the time. So, where they sue corporations and they sue funds, the funds sue corporations, and the funds also people sue the hedge funds. It's like, because they didn't follow in their manifesto of incorporation with the clients. So that says right now that if they don't, he's going to be very busy January and February of next year. And so they've got to put that money into the market one way or the other. And that's why you saw that jump yesterday, and you're seeing the market's firm today too. You can go over and we can just jump from the currency real quick and just look at the S&P 500. Well, you know what? Let's do it in an intraday. It's even more fun. So, look at the way they drop in that dollar index. And let's look at there's the S&P 500 with a high of 514 even, and it's trading at 509.50. And this morning they did push it down this morning. Right before the webinar, they did go below the 405, and before I walked out the door to go down to the field to check things, because I got to cut out the door. I'm going to be on the road for a little bit. I have to run up to Connecticut out of nowhere. So, Robin, I'll get my stuff out to you after the webinar, and then I'll have my laptop and tablet in case if you need anything from there. But yeah, you can see right there, it's the stock market is not letting go. Now, interest rates are rising a little bit. Inflation is rising a little bit. Nothing major, and interest rates are rising just a little bit. Nothing major. So they're reaching for the stocks. They've got to reach for these stocks. And like I said, no more than a few minutes ago, I've never seen money managers so aggressive about basically fading. That's what we call it on the old trading floors. Fading the Fed. In other words, they're not paying attention to what the Fed is saying. They're fading it. They're doing the opposite side of it because they think they're near the top. And so if they buy and dollar cost average in these lows in here, because they know they have X amount of dollars they got to put to work between now and December 31st. That's like an insider's game. They know they're going to have to be buying. And so they know that as long as they buy what everybody else is willing to buy, not junk, just buy the good stuff. Boom, boom, baby, boom. It's gonna, they're gonna lift and do well. So, all right, let's go back to the currencies there. And we will look at, from the Swiss, we go to the yen. There's the yen. I was surprised it found its way into the sell yesterday after that nice new 4-month high. Let's put it up on J4X. Right there. And that's the weekly. The weekly's at 87, and so is the daily. Sorry about that, not daily. The slow. Fast is at 87. The slow is at 87 too. So it's flirting, just the same way ours right here is breaking down, going through the manifold. It's telling us that there's some weakness trying to come in. Now the question is, will it survive? What else can we say about that? Let's look at the daily. Right there. And the daily is trying to break down. We've got the fast trading at 61, and we have the slow at 672 at 72. So it's 11 points discounted, and that's what we're seeing here too. Is it's through, it closed there yesterday. Then from there we slide over to the laboratory, the big experiment. Turkish lira climbed in a daily buy yesterday. The weekly is making a threat over here. Let's see what it looks like over on J4X. Let me put that water down. So where are you? Right there. It is right there. And over here, we'll check this one out too. We'll look at our new platform and see how it's doing. Where are you? Euro, GBP, Turkish lira. There it is. You can see there the daily has jumped up for the last couple of days. And, oh, you can't see that. Let's show you there. So it's just like it is on J4X. And you can see 66 versus 55. The daily is definitely moving. And we go to here. You see it there. Same thing. And then let's scroll down a little bit. Like that. You can see the weekly is not as close, but it is moving up very quickly. And you can see over here. No, you can't. And you will. Right there. You see that same situation where it tries to do that. So it tries to jump through there. And then from there, what do we got? Mountain says something. Cable and euro, okay. Dollar yen into a big sell now because aggressive dollar sell-off. And 2, yen currency strength chart on Madoff on H4. Oh, let's take a look at it on the 4-hour. And the bottom historical low, which could signal a huge move. Huh. Well, we know one thing. I thought it was going to make it back close to the 50 area. You know, we got up to the 47s. We've been saying that since the 42s. I don't know, something like that. Let's go check it out on the there. Let's see what the 4-hour looks like. Instrumento. What are we doing? Yen. So I think USD cash yen. And so it's going to load up in here because it's going back like 19 days, or maybe it's, yeah, here we go. It's starting to load up. And see if we can enhance it a little bit time-wise. Oh, there it is. It did it. Okay. So let's see. There is the 4-hour buy right there. And, you know, by the time it gets to, you see, we start to break down in here, still in the buy in our work, all the way to right there. And we finally get into the sell. And then it gets back into the buy right there, which catches that cute little move, and then it goes right back into the sell there again. the next bar. And it's not been the best. Matter of fact, it's back into the buy as we speak. It's flirting with the sell at the moment. It's got to do more work. That tail right there, see it says 0.01. That has to break down to 0. And with the minus 11, that'll push it into the sell. Let's see. Well, we got the 47. Yeah, I know. We were looking for that, but I'm looking for like 50. No, it might be working back up to the 151 area. I think it'll fail at it, just the same way. What were we looking at that did that double top? The dollar index. So the dollar index, the higher high was on the 25th, and the lower high was on the 29th. I'm looking for the same type of move, where it fails at it. So it goes back. Let's see where we have. We have the Turkish lira up in there, but let's go to J4X. Make it the whole screen, and put in yen. And then go to the weekly. And so there's the 151 back in October of last year. And, that could be a double top in here. That's what I'm thinking. And so it's getting up there now. And we've been, ever since this buy right here in the 140 area, we've been saying, Rorge, it's going to go find a way back up to the 150. And here we are at the 147. So we've picked up over 7 handles in that one. In the sense of, the math was telling us that it wanted to go back up. Let me just go back to the daily on that. Yeah, it went into the weekly. Let's do this. Went into the weekly here at the 43 area. The fast went in there in the 41.5 area. Over here. Right. I guess that could be. Oh, that's not a line. So it's like it jumped in on like the next bar right here. What is that? 42 and change. 42.26 with a low that day of 41.40.69. So basically, it jumped into it over here really quick. And the daily went into the daily buy right there. It warned you, also, giving that warm. That's why we started thinking, that this turn here made me think, it wants to go north again. All right, now from there, where do we go from there? We go to, we were just looking at the Turkish. We finished off the Turkish lira, I guess. Turkish lira is done, I guess. Let's go to, where do we go from here? We want to jump over to, where do we want to jump over to? We want to jump over to, we just plug this in a little bit. I just need to plug something in. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. There we are. And I just see I got a message here. Let's see what's going on. Let me just go up to that and double check that one. All right. So from there, where do we go from there? So we go to the South African rand, so we can go do some metals here because we only got about 4 or 5 minutes left. So let's do this. There is the South African rand. Let's put gold up on J4X, and we can go through the metals really quick. Let's do that and dissect them a little bit, and then we'll get out of here. So I'm doing lots of dancing here. And then let's put the daily in there too, so we can appreciate it a little bit more. So you can see the metals are moving up. The South African rand is trying to slide down. It's still way too high. It should be in the 114 area or something like that. Or, I'm sorry, 14 area. Maybe maybe high 14, 15, but it's got a haircut of about 3.5 points now. That's a lot. And you can see here, it's through the weekly, but the fast is broken down. So that's positive for gold. That's a buying point. Now we just need the green to break down on the weekly. And you can see the daily has been more in a sell than it's been in a buy. As a matter of fact, it's been in a sell since, let's grab one of these sells. I'm going to grab that one. It's been in the sell since right here, since the 19 area. So it's broken down to the 18.5. So there's a lot of, the metals it's interesting. Gold, is not really moving out of this, but what's interesting out of it is the rest of them are. So we have, let's see, where is it at? Right there. So we have silver riding that pony hard. It's been in the daily buy now from here, from the 22 and change, and now we're at 25 and change. So that's a pretty good move. You're talking about a 10% move compared to gold. It's almost like a 3% move. That's interesting. From 22, what is that? The close at 22.77 low, but it closed at 23, and it's trading at 25.37. And so, you got a 7.5% move going on here, almost 8. From the low to the high, it's even better, but it's at the highs right now. It's been kind of interesting, and we're flirting with the weekly buy, whereas in gold, we are not. The fast is, but the slow is not. And at the same time, we go over to copper, and copper's trapped with the Chinese situation. So it's like, it tried to rally with it, and notice it just started to fail as they did the bankruptcies. So, and it's in the weekly sell. The fast is moving up, but the slow is not. And then we go over to platinum, which is, like a real interesting, direction. You can see that thing is screaming through the weekly, and that thing has made a move of over 10%. Is it over 10%? Yeah. Or it's a 10% move from the daily buy was 9 or 8, was that? Yeah, 9.16, and now we have a high of 9.93. So that thing is like at an 8%, 7.75% increase. So it's doing the same thing as with silver. It's moving. Platinum is moving that. And now we have a client into the palladium. So let's give you a picture of the palladium. And the palladium's doing that kind of fun stuff too at the same time. Right there. We've and Robin and I switched over to December palladium. It's much more, it's the big front month at this point. And it's flirting with the weekly buy. It's in a daily buy from yesterday. It's holding on even with it down. And it went into the buy here, which is kind of interesting, in the 1300 area, and then went into a sell in the 1250ish area, and then it rolled down for a couple days and jumped back into a daily buy, and it's been holding up with that daily buy until this point here where you had the weakness and it broke down a little. But it is definitely trying to turn. It's like gold in many ways. It's not really making the move. You got to figure going from 12 to 13. It's moving, but it's sloppy. It really is sloppy, the palladium. For whatever good reasons it is. Gold is not sloppy, but it's not really going anywhere. It's going from 1900 to 1940 basically. I think we've seen a 60. So it's not exactly moving with a lot of fanfare and strength. So that's the South African Rand connection. The metals complex. The Rand is telling us that they want to lift the metals up, but not a lot. Now, what's interesting again is that the cheap ones, the lower priced metals are doing the best, and copper would have been doing that too. But what happened was the Chinese market has fallen apart, and so because the Chinese market has fallen apart, we're seeing that confusion even more now. And so that's what's really going on there, is we're seeing that. So there's not much room for them to maneuver. That's the problem. But you can see it in the copper market. It tried to lift, but it's still in the weekly sell. I think So that's it with the metals. Now let's go over to the energies. Let's see what the energies look like. And let's put crude oil. Let's put Brent up on. Here's Brent. And let's put Brent over here. I think that's Brent right there. No, that's not it. I think that's Brent. Yeah, there's Brent. So here is Brent on our work on our new platform, and it's trying to bang into the weekly sell, but you can see it's trying to turn at the same time. The daily is holding up. We're in a buy here for like 4 days now, and so it's trying to turn around again. Let's see what's going on with U.S. oil. Light sweet crude. You can see there it's trying to lift up. It's at 81.47. Let's go over to here and see what it looks like. There is crude there. That's the October contract doing the same thing, lifting up. It's 5 days now in a buy. Let's see what it says on our new platform. I shouldn't fool with it at this point. I'm running out of time. And so in the end result is that you can see the oil complex moving up. Let's take a quick look at the natural gas. Natural gas was interesting. It slid into the sell after that big drop here. And it's in the weekly sell, but it's not a very good trade. It went lower today, but now it's basically trying to move back up. And at the same time, let's just see what they're doing in Europe with that, because I can spot that fast with no problem. Where are you? There it is. And so that's that oil company, and we'll put it up on both screens. We'll put it up on our new platform there, and let's put it up on, as Yano says, it's my favorite stock, right there. So it's trading at 27 now. So they're buying natural gas. We're seeing that buying in Europe on the natural gas again. And so in the States here, it's only at $2.69, almost $2.70. Europe, it looks like it's at $27. So, all right, traders, this is Doc. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. So everybody have a healthy and happy hump day. So happy trails to you when we meet again. Happy trails to you, to our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a good trading day. Be smart. Be safe. Ta-ta for now. And I'll have to come up with a title for this really quick. Inflation. I think that'll be part of it again. Ta-ta.